Alright, so here's the third attempt. We've managed to cut through the Foamcore. The board moved on me once. The Foamcore has gotten a little warped since the last time I used it, so it's not, the vacuum isn't really holding it down very well. But this is just the windows and notch have been cut out, and now I gotta cut the walls out. The only part I'm concerned about is the battlement walls are a little thin, and the vacuum for the bits that get the chip that gets taken out might be too much, and it might pull that up along with it, because it sucked all of these up into the vacuum. So I might have to, when it gets to this part here, I might have to turn the vacuum off, and I could change some things. But yeah, I just gotta make my next file so I can cut the outer wall. I decided to do the inside cut first, and then I'll do the outside cut second. So more to come. Alright, so the power TV, I cheated. New board. I taped the board down and decided to start all over because the other one had moved around too much and it just wasn't any good anymore. So what we did differently is the end parts were cut first, and I did 2 passes to cut out the material. And then, so the notches and the windows, they were cut first with an inside cut. Then I did an outside cut, and then when I was doing the outside cut on this one, it cut the material, but then it was doing a second pass, and then it pushed the material free even on the second pass, and then was starting to cut around, and you can kind of see it's a little jagged here on the edge. So I had to quick stop it and then tell it to do 1 pass, and I had to fight with my software for a little bit to, it was saying, no, you got to do 2 passes, and I'm like, no, I only want to do 1, but it kept on telling me I need to do 2, and then I found out that there was something checked. Once I unchecked that, then it did 1 pass. So once I had it set up for 1 pass, I saved a new file and then had it cut out each of these sections in 1 pass, except for this one. So, and then the edge, I don't think it's going to show very good, but you see all that frayed part is pretty much the paper, but on the edge it's not that bad. It's not as rough as I thought it was going to be. And this is just 1 pass on the outside cut. There's really no way to show you the inside cut, but I mean it's fine for purposes of 40K. So yeah, let's take the pieces out and see if they stick together okay. Let's see if I can do it on the outside. So this is my floor. See if the notches might need a little bit of adjustment with the notches, because the notches they're round corners, whereas my pegs are not. But it's fitting in there pretty snug. And then I forgot to show the measurement, but I did measure, and the walls are, without the next floor, they are 3 inches. From here to here is 3 inches. So standard GW. And this should pop in on the outside. And little, I guess that square and a round peg isn't too bad. Helps hold this in pretty good. So there, that would be 1 floor design, and then the next floor can be stacked on top, and again. So I'm thinking, like, at least what I'm envisioning for a couple of buildings for line of sight blockage is about 9 inches tall. So you figure 3 inches, about 3/16 of an inch for that, 3/16 of an inch, another 3 inches, 3/16, 3 inches, 3/16 battlement and stuff like that. So definitely it'd be close to about what, maybe 11 inches tall for line of sight blocking. Let's see if we can get the roof on here before I run out of video space on my phone. So these. Now I did have a problem where the vacuum did suck up the piece and it pulled it up, dropped it, and then the bit landed right on top of it, and it cut the whole square piece with this still stuck in the bit. And then I turned the fan off real quick before it cut the last two pieces. So yeah, my fear about it picking that up was it came to. Okay, so these notches are longer, so I might have to put the phone down. I'm gonna put pause and come back with the roof. All right, just noticed that on this end here, a couple of the notches didn't get punched out all the way through. So that might be just the board or that board that contribute to it not getting cut out. So I got 3 tabs I got to punch out by hand yet here, and then we'll get the rest of the roof put together. All right, so here's the roof or battlement, and I had a problem with the one that had the star drilled into it. It made it look a little weak to try to push through, but you can see I got the tabs all pushed through here in the notches. And then ideally, get down in here, ideally the notches should line up. See, like, you got that notch there, so that notch should line up into it. And there, one building. A lot better. In my, this would be my, what is it, 4th attempt so far. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty decent for a 40K terrain. Just sand down the edges if I wanted to make it look a little bit prettier. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This is a piece of trash that we were going to throw away and repurpose for Warhammer 40K, and made all Foamcore. So cool thing though is I found some Sintra, and this is almost a 1/4 inch thick. So maybe my next building will be made out of some Sintra. All right, thanks for watching. All right, so I thought I'd try to make one more floor, and ended up having the same problem as before, where it cuts through the material, but it doesn't cut through that last part. And I don't know if it's because I turned the final pass off, but it did fine finishing the other building, so I don't think that's the case. But yeah, maybe Foamcore is just too varied, or the paper just is more resilient to being pushed on this end than being cut, or maybe the bit just doesn't cut into it. That might be the case too. But just thought I'd tack on to the end of this that I did try to make another floor, and that one didn't cut all the way through for some reason. So it cut through all the material, just didn't cut through that paper backing. Alright, so I got the styrene down on the machine now, and we're going to try to cut that. I had to make adjustments for the styrene sheet because it's smaller than the Foamcore pieces I was using. And we'll give it a go, see how that cuts. I think I'm going to run it at probably 18, and I'll just slow the feed rate for this. And I'm going to try to do it maybe 1 or 2 cuts. We'll see. But I found out that one of the problems why I wasn't cutting all the way through, and that's because apparently what was happening is I wasn't clearing the max depth setting each time I would do a new reading, and so without clearing that, it would tell the machine that the board was higher. or yeah, the max depth was higher than what it was supposed to be. So that's why it wasn't cutting all the way through. So now that I learned that, hopefully that this should cut just fine, and then more to come. I gotta set the file, and then we'll see how it looks like. Alright, so I just got the file set up and sent to the machine. So now we'll see if my not zeroing in the bottom for the ground position is gonna make a difference. Well, I gotta put my I gotta put the daily back on, the brush for the vacuum, and then we'll get things going. So I'll be right back. Alright, well, I won't record the whole thing because I don't know how much space I actually have on my phone, but we gotta turn on the Alright, so here's the inside cut for the project, and you can see here that it didn't quite go all the way through, but I think I can just punch that out. I really won't know until I get it off the bed, but I don't want to move it. And then this stuff here, this stuff just comes out. It's not welding. And then it was running at I think it was 18,000 RPMs, and I dropped it down to, I think I dropped the feed down to 60. So yeah, now I just gotta get the next cut file set up, and then we'll give it a go. So back in a little bit. Alright, so we got file set up. Let's go ahead and send it to the machine. I'm gonna leave the order in columns and send it out. And I don't think I really have to do anything there. Do an outside cut. And there we go. Now it's been sent. Now we gotta load it. And I should have a file that says inside cut. Accept that, so it's all ready to go. And then action. And there we go. Okay, gang, so here's the finished piece. I actually have another sheet, but I don't think I'll cut that. I think I'll work on a new design for a smaller, not as long building, and see if I can get maybe one or two of those cut out of the other sheet. So let's pluck this out and then see if we can punch the pieces out. So some pieces you can tell I went through. So yeah, so like I said, I just gotta clean out this mess here, and then we'll go from there. My coworker will kill me if I leave this for him to come see tomorrow morning, but table's cleared. Alright, forgot to show the spent piece. Try to use as much of the styrene as I could. I wish I had some other designs that I could have thrown in these little voids, like this void here, but I probably could have thrown some extra walls in. I did throw in two here. I was going to put a longer one in here, but it was too long, and then I forgot to put another one of the smaller ones in. But so that's the scrap that's left over from cutting. And then here's the cut pieces. So the bonus out of it is I got these little squares. So I figured I could probably make a brick wall out of these. And here's like just like a flange of the material that didn't get cut when cutting through. And then this is pretty much like you could just take a back end of a razor blade and we can probably scrape it off or sand it. So let's see if we can get a building put together. So you can see I have my short wall section, and these are, I can tell already, are for the top roof, and the reason being is because these tabs are longer. So here's a bottom floor. Let's see if I can get a better comparison on the black. So bottom floor, and then top floor, and all the main boards are the same. They're the same size. So floor tab, see that fits in here. Might need a little shaping because this isn't like Foamcore, and you can see I got it's the square peg into the round holes because I'm using a round bit. These edges aren't completely 90 degree, so it might not fit unless I might have to shave those down a little bit. I might have to round them a little bit to get those pegs to fit. Actually, it looks like they might be, no, I was gonna say, sorry, you're not in camera. I was gonna say that they're a little too big, but they're just right. But it's that the difference is that the round edge versus the square edge. So yeah, I won't be able to show these together yet until I sand the corners a little bit on those. Bummer. But I mean, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. I could even just shave it off with a razor blade instead of sanding. But yeah, we got basically out of this I got 3 floors. We got the main floor, and then we got second floor, and then I think, no, I don't have 3 floors. I have the roof. So yeah, I have a roof. So main floor, a second floor, and then the roof with the battlements on top. So yeah, I'll have to file or shave those corners down and do a recap on it later.